Well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for having me. Sorry we're 3 minutes late. So my name is Bill Walton. I'm a Salesforce MVP. That's probably loud, isn't it? I've got too many things on. Okay, I think we're okay. There's a shout or wave, I'll give you some rude signs if you can't hear. Yeah, forget my own introduction. Bill Walton, hi. So I run a company called Galacticos, which is a consultancy based in the UK. But I've been doing this now for 14 years. So part of my aim today is trying to reduce those 14 years into about 26 minutes. So I'm going to give it a try. Sorry, I'm going to click that. So hopefully the fact that you're all here, both in this room but also in the Dreamin, means you've got at least some interest in Salesforce. Yeah? Yeah, maybe, yeah. So, you know, I mean, either you might be starting out or you might be doing this for a long time. There's still a whole lot of useful resource that's out there. And it's not always obvious because the world of Salesforce is a massive, massive thing. So there are a number of things that you can pay for. There we go, sorry. There are a number of things that you can pay for, like you can get books, you can get Salesforce support. Actually, is there anybody from Salesforce in the room before I have a go at Salesforce? Okay. That means skip the next 3 slides. I'm joking. But you know, it is something that you have to pay things for support. Sometimes training, if you do the official training courses. Dreamforce even, fantastic thing if you can get to it, but prices can be quite high. So what I have done in the past and what I still do now is look at what free stuff there is out there. And like I said, if I can share some of that with you in the next, well now probably 26 minutes, I will do my best. So I guess we'll kick straight into it. So the first things are, hey, again, we're at a Salesforce event here. But there are hundreds of other events, both in-person events and also webinars, official Salesforce run events, community events like this, and they are actually all in different places. So you need to keep an eye on possibly several different sites. Here's just a couple of the many Salesforce.com events and the developer events. Brush over hands, who's on the developer side? Who's more of a developer? Who's more of an admin consultant? Okay, a bit more developer side, that's okay. I'm going to try and cover most of them, but I am more on the admin and consultancy side personally. So if you want to jump in and heckle with any developer resources, it's open. I'm open to attack. Not physically, though. But what I have found is that a lot of these events are in UK and US. I'll be honest, I searched a lot of India events, there's actually not loads. But if you squint really hard, you can see that actually a lot of these are webinars. And also as well, even with Dreamforce, hey, if you get the chance to go, fantastic. If you speak, if you're a user group leader, you can get a free ticket, or you will be given a free ticket. Or if you happen to be in San Francisco on that day, you can get a free expo pass. Not the best of freebies, not the easiest to cash in, but they are there. Other great resources, the success community. Now again, this is a little bit more focused on the admin, consultancy, VA side, and also the social side as well. You know, we all need to meet each other. That's what we're all doing in events like this. It is important. Put time on. I've got time. 25 minutes from now. Should be alright. I just don't want to go over. So you can see on the success community, there are literally thousands of communities here. The great thing is about them, you can find people that are doing your sort of thing, possibly in your sort of geography and region, you know, with your interests. So it's a great way to have a look for groups in general. It's also a good place to start finding your local user groups. And these, again, not the developer side for now, we'll get started on the next slide, I think, but you know, the user groups, the within tech groups, the geographical groups, the marketing cloud groups, the hard up groups, the business user groups, and many more. And if you go onto one of those, there's my one for North of England, got about 750 members, and so there's two parts of the user group. There is the community itself, so i.e. you've actually got 750 people in that case, and people that you can talk to on the community, ask questions, give answers, ask for advice, but also there as well, and you've got probably events. Most user groups do 4 or 5 physical events each year. Obviously, everybody's slightly different, some do them monthly. And also the developer groups. I think I might have missed a few of them off the bottom. But hands up if you're a member of any of the developer groups. Not enough. That's the big difference between the number of interested developers and developer user groups. So if you get a chance, so again, you go on developer.salesforce.com for probably the best list of those, and really useful. And even for me that's more on the admin and consultancy side, but still interested in development, don't feel that you have to be one or the other, that you can't go to a women in tech and a developer group and a partner group. You could be a member of many different things and have different hobbies. We're all different in life, we have a different combination of skills and interests. So, personally, even though I'm not as such a developer, I think it's really useful to go to some of these events just to get a bit of an inside view on what people can do. I probably filter out about 60% of the content because I don't understand it, but at least if I can see something that's going to be useful or interesting that somebody else has done, really, really handy to go to those as well. So another area of amazing resource is the answers forum. Anybody looked at or asked a question, got an answer? It's an amazing thing, and I'm not just saying that because I've done a lot on it. Sharif here at the front has done a lot on it. Who else is here today? Deepak, Steve Mogan's here, but there's some amazing facts, and Sharif might be able to back me up on this or echo me about it, but I think if you ask in fact, does somebody want to do it whilst we're here? Should do a live here. Somebody ask you a question on this whilst we're on it. The stats are something like that often these are answered within like 3 minutes. And this is all by people like me, people like you, people in the ecosystem. It's not run by Salesforce, it's not the answers aren't done by them, it's by people like us in the ecosystem, volunteers. And it's probably faster than any phone number that you can ring on Premier Support. You probably get an answer quicker, you probably get half a dozen of them. People will often give really complex answers of code and diagrams. The speed is immense. All I'd say is, just remember, it is volunteers, it's the ecosystem, it's people like us. So just remember, say thank you afterwards. We'll go through some of the other tabs on here a little bit later on, I think. But, so if you are on the developer side, this is one of the areas that you would probably know about already, maybe from little other areas. But Stack Exchange is pretty invaluable to many. People as well are maybe a little bit older, but it's the developer forums themselves. I think because they're probably quite that bit older, you can see there's some 45,000, 63,000 discussions and things going on there. So even if it's something that isn't a brand new feature or functionality, you can still go back and have a look at the whole history of the last probably 10 years of people coding in Salesforce. Anybody work for a non-profit or higher ed? Anybody using charity licenses? No, okay, that's well. If you are, if you're not, but this has been recorded, so somebody might. The Power of Us Hub is something that you would want to have a look at, and that's probably the equivalent of if you are of the Stack Exchange or Answers, but specifically for non-profits and higher ed. Yet again, even though I'm listing these separately, it doesn't matter that you can. It doesn't mean that you only have to go to this. You only have to go to Stack Exchange. You can mix and match them as you need. Probably don't put the same question on 5 different places, because it's quite possible that one of this ecosystem might see it in several different places. At least ask the question one day. If you don't get something, maybe ask it somewhere else later on. Don't just bombard it, otherwise it just replicates. And again, just for the sake of if you don't know this already, or if you know anybody that is a non-profit or higher ed, you do get 10 free licenses. 10 and free. That's impressive. And also as well, so after that 10, the licenses are discounted really heavily. But also as well as people like myself as consultants, the partners, the app providers will often give either free or reduced price licenses or services to non-profits. Personally, we volunteer at usually one charity each year that we'll work for free. And then if we work for any others, we're doing a pretty heavily discounted rate. So if you are with a non-profit, don't be afraid to reach out to people and say, hey, we need some help, can you help? If it's going to be a one-year-long project for 10 people, you're not going to get it for free. You're very unlikely. You might get it from Salesforce Foundation, but yeah, it's going to be something that's, if you're a smaller non-profit, you can probably quite easily pick up some free dev help for people who just want to help you out. Okay, anybody guess this one of the three? Right. If you haven't got a free license, it's free. We're all in different stages here. The first week or 14 years, not everybody knows it. So I will rewind back to about 10 years ago. Anybody else been doing Salesforce for 10 years? Okay, just the ball guys in front. I see. So when I started doing this, 14 years or so ago, there was no such thing as a free dev org. You had to, and again, sorry to Salesforce here, because I probably racked up loads of accounts in the past. But what you used to do was have a 30-day trial. And you can actually still get that. I don't know why you want a 30-day trial and a free account, but there you go. But if you were to do that 10 years ago, you would do a 30-day trial, and then at the end of that, it would be wiped. And you go to Hotmail and you set up another account, and then you set up another 30 days, and you start from scratch again. And then that probably went on for about 2 years. So yeah, so there's at least probably 24 accounts under my name with Phil Walton at, and Phil Walton 17 at hotmail.com. So my apologies to both Salesforce and Hotmail. And then a developer friend of mine said, you can have a free developer account. I was like, thanks, I'm not really a developer. I'm not writing code. It's a little bit, it's just a free account. Should we do that? We'll make we'll put it on the ideas forum, which is another one for you. Please change the name to just free account. But yeah, so you don't have to do code on it, but you can if you want. And it's an enterprise level account, so it's worth, well, UK, US, probably £2,000, $2,000, something like that. You can have that for free. I've just given you all $2,000. Did anybody not have it before? Okay, I'll give you nothing then. The Salesforce have. So thank you for that. Okay, as with any technology and any hobbies, there are always blogs available. So there is going to be a shameless plug. I'll leave it till the end. So some of the other people that you might see at the event over in the far side is Francis Pinder. Did anybody see one of his talks today? I think he's doing another one at 4 p.m. I believe. I just spoke to him, he just told me over lunch. Also, Vinay's blog at the moment, do you know Vinay? Yeah. And the one in the middle there is one that I read, but don't really understand. It's really amazing. He's like one of the best developers, in my opinion. But I will often read it and understand, about 20% of it. But that gives me such an insight that I really enjoy seeing it. So again, just look at the whole range of blogs and of interest and posts. At the bottom right there is a site that lists a lot more blogs. So I obviously won't go into all of them, but it splits them between partners, MVPs, consultants, admin, developer, advanced, senior, beginner. So yeah, really useful blog by a guy called Oliver Hansen, based in Belgium. And you can subscribe to it, you get a daily feed of all of them. So any new blogs that come out each day, so that's pretty useful. I get that every day. And the other one, sorry to mention it, is my one. Anybody read my blog? Thanks, Sharif. Oh, okay, thank you. So I've been doing my Salesforce blog for 262 consecutive Fridays. So it was my 5-year anniversary of doing it every week, a couple of weeks back. It tends to be quite short and sweet. Things like the free stuff, some free apps, some events, some new bit of formula or new bit of technology that's just come out, and it'd be quite short. So the feedback that I've got over the years was that if people said, if you've got time for 5 minutes each week, or even 2 minutes each week, then they might read my blog, because it is very short. Each might give 2 or 3 tips each week, might be 2 or 3 sentences on each one. And if anybody wants to do a guest post, please drop me a line. I'm always looking for guests. It's really easy, because all you have to do is find something interesting from what you've learned this week and summarize it into 3 sentences. So you don't have to write lines and lines and lines. Have a good time. If you haven't heard of Trailhead, then this is probably either your first session or at least your first Salesforce event. Anybody using Trailhead? I'll just move on then. I don't think you need me to tell you about this really, but again, there's people at all different ends of their journey on here. And again, 14 years, I still use Trailhead. And the stuff that's coming out, I think there's 7 or 8 batches came out last week. So yeah, it's changing all the time. The acceleration over the past 6 months has just sped up so much. There is probably about, they will set a challenge for the Trailhead guys to get a new badge per day, because I think they probably will do that soon. Okay, App Exchange. I have to be very careful when I go into the App Exchange stuff, because as some of you may know, I could probably talk about this for about, the full Indian read, but I won't. So I just changed this slide yesterday, because this new banner came up and they're about to hit 5 million installs. If you want something free, try to make sure you're the 5 millionth person. I don't know how you do that, but just keep installing a load of apps. And you'll probably get something great. So the main reason that I look into the App Exchange is because of this stuff. As you can see, the free apps. So you may notice, if you picked up your brochure on the way today, on the way in, the second half of it is the PDF that I put together of 101 free apps. Thank you to everybody who's read it, give feedback, or even put their app on there. Put their apps out there. Again, because of time, I won't go into any of them in fast. But you've got 101 there, so hopefully that's something that you can take away. Again, they're all free, they're all tested, they're all safe. And some of them, some are just a little tweak and a change, or something that might just save you a few clicks, or save your users a few clicks. Some of them are nice, like reporting and dashboard apps. But some of them, and I quote this from one of our clients, it was saving, on the users, it wasn't one of our clients, but they said it was saved them tens of thousands of dollars of writing code. I think that's called object converter. You won't need all of them, they won't be all relevant to you, but there's like 1,000 plus on there. I've given you 101 as a starter. If you get through all of those, please drop me a line, I'll find you another 101. And again, if you do find one, and I haven't put it on there, you can be a guest for you. So as well as App Exchange apps, if you are using Chrome, then Chrome extensions. Again, there's quite a lot of them out there, generally all free, and also there's some of these that weirdly are actually on the App Exchange, even though you click on the App Exchange link and it probably takes you to a page very similar to this. There's one I added to my blog last week, which is in progress going on to the App Exchange. So you will probably see a bit of a crossover, or more of a crossover soon. Another channel that not many people in the Salesforce world is the Salesforce YouTube channel. So I will say now, it can be quite salesy Salesforce. It is a lot of the standard demos that you might see at, or actually no, not even demos, marketing videos that you may well see at the beginning of a Dreamforce session or a World Tour session or something. It's very sort of crisp marketing material. However, what I've done is I've scrolled down on the page a little bit, because there are actually a lot of really useful videos as well. One of these that I've used and that I've spread to quite a few people is one that if you're setting up Salesforce, you're setting up your sharing settings and your field level security, the who sees what is something that you should be looking at quite a lot. So that's actually some really useful videos on there. But yeah, there's a whole load of stuff on there. Okay, does anybody know how big this guide is? Give us the numbers. I'm covering up the number. How many pages do you think it is?
2,000.
There you go. Your eyesight's better. So if anybody has printed this off and got that on their desk, well, if I did it on my printer, by the time it had all printed, it would be out of date and I'd have to start from the beginning again. But I wanted to show this just for the fact that, you know, if you were using any other software, any other app, somebody would say to you, well, where's the guide? There's the guide for going on. And what you can do, obviously you can go onto it, you can find out the thing that's of most interest to you. You know, if it is about a certain validation rule, formula and a validation rule, or something like that, it will all be in there. And I mean, all be in there. But also if you have a look under, sorry, my screen's got a little bit wonky, we'll post all of these somewhere, or if anybody wants to link, just drop me a line. But if you also look in that resources.doc, there's about 20 or 30 much smaller how-to docs that will probably be more realistically used. And you know, if you want something to read on your commute home and you actually want to print something off, yeah, don't do the 7,261. Also on the read home, so this isn't that up to date. The more, the better eyesighted people here might see that it says dated December 2015. So yeah, not the most up to date, but there are loads and loads of books available. Now, if you used to go to Salesforce events or Dreamforce or anything like that, there would be a stand where you can go and actually get books, physical books. But I think they're pretty much phasing that out. So instead of that, and let's be honest, it's 2017, nobody really carried books around that much, as has been pointed out to me quite a lot. But you can get them all on here, and they're really useful, both the books and the cheat sheets that you see at the end. So if you want to have a look at one particular subject, it'll just give you those key bits of information all in one place. They're really useful. Again, it's mainly developers, but not just developers. Those cheat sheets will cover quite a few different areas. And last but not least, has anybody picked up any swag today? Yeah, so, yes, at the back. Oh, I've got some as well. There you go. Thank you for my swag. But yeah, you know, this is a massive community. You can see all of the people along here that have got involved in this. We do it for different reasons, but we try and tempt you in some way by giving things away. What I would say is that, yeah, there's lots out there. I've already got a sort of bag full. Apparently Francis has got a load of swag at 4 p.m. So yes, we'll see what you can get. So, May, have we got a couple of minutes? Sure, if you're supposed to be heckling me here, because you want to stop. You're like, no, fine, you carry on. Okay, we've got a couple of minutes. Anybody, any questions? It could be about free stuff, it could be about apps, it could be about 14 years with Salesforce, it could be about Manchester United, it could be about anything. You don't have to. Go for it. You might have to shout. I'll remember.
Actually, you didn't talk about the Lightning components, which we can publish on AppExchange. So basically, what I'm thinking, if I'm working on a Lightning component, and if I want to publish that on AppExchange,
Yes.
then what is the best way?
Yeah. So would it be? Are you going to give it away for free, or is it going to be paid loss?
It's free.
Yeah, free. We like that. There you go. Yeah. So you go through the process, same as pretty much same as anybody else would. So you have to go through the security review. I've never actually gone through.
So what kind of security review they have for Lightning components?
Ask. I don't know. I can find out for you if you also got me a line.
Okay.
This is going to be safe and secure. Does it work? Is it safe? Is it tested?
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, it'll be the same process with any apps that go on there. And as I mentioned before about the App Exchange, you have to be 100% confident that if you press that button, install now, that it's going to go into your org and it's not going to, and everything's not going to blow up. I'm sure yours won't, but that's the way that you can guarantee it. And instantly then you've got this big marketing machine that will say, hey look at your new app, your new component. And yeah, if it's free, please tell me when it's out and I'll review it for you. Any other questions?
I failed.
Hey, Dream. Oh,
so so this is a serious question.
Okay.
All right, so out of the 101 apps that you have in your book, do you have a favorite one?
Can you pass me the book? I might just do a pop out. I don't know if any of these guys have been here that published an app called Octopus. No? Okay. So Octopus basically, right, who here has got an org that is fully documented, and if your boss walked in, or if I walked in and said, okay, I'm going to look at your org today, can you show me what you've built so far? Can you show me all your documentation? Are we all happy that all of our orgs are fully documented perfectly? There's one nod. Okay, well done. So one easy way to do it is install this app called Octopus. So what it will do is within 30 seconds of you clicking on Get It Now, you can go into a tab in your org, you can choose which objects, workflows, code, config, and just click on export to PDF, and there's everything that's been built in your and configured in your org within about minutes. Obviously, if you click everything, it may take a few more minutes, but a really good way. Now, it will come out in a bit of a jump of a PDF, so you'll probably have to format it before you give it to your boss, or before you, as a consultant, sell it to your clients. But I would say that because it's had the most impact on people. And again, it's free, so they just put it out there, they're not making a penny on it, so I'd probably say Octopus. Have you used it? Are you going to use it? There we go. Okay? Oh, now I'm trying to, oh, there we go, we're back on. Ooh, this is I'm back. There we go. We're still here. Just to keep everybody on edge, and to keep with the free theme, we have got some free stuff to give away. Who's our Q&A sponsor? Auto Rabbit. Thank you, Auto Rabbit. Any of you here? Well, thank you, Auto Rabbit. So we've got some free stuff.
It's a speaker.
It's a speaker. Cool. So I'm supposed to ask questions?
About the session.
Oh, okay. Who was listening to everything I just said? Has anybody taken notes? Oh, I like that one. Who's like this one? Okay, we'll do a joking one first, just to check if you didn't hear that one. So first prize goes to the person who can tell me the best player from my favourite football team.
Do we have any answers?
We got one over there. Yeah, you have to give us the name of a player. Yeah.
In many.
Yes. You can Google it. Whoever's finger's on the Google first.
Currently might be Rashford.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. We got a winner. Well done.
Okay, we round of applause for Anas.
Well done. Well done. Who would have thought I could be in India asking questions about Man United for free stuff. Okay, so I'm going to, rather than testing on what I said, right, I'm going to check if nobody's got a couple of people have got the book in their hand. So, can somebody tell me about free apps that you have installed, and maybe why it's good, or why it's interesting? Go for it. It can't be yours, by the way.
The app which is for roll-up summary. Actually, I have been using that where we don't have any relationship, like master-parent relationship between the objects.
Okay, yeah, perfect. We have a winner.
And here goes the prize.
Please.
Naval, give a big round of applause for Naval.
Thank you.
So, and on that, there is an app from Andy Fawcett that I mentioned of his Andy in the Cloud blog, which is sort of another version of that, but even more amazing. So it's not a sort of packaged up app that you can install very easily. You've got to do a little bit of manual tweaking on it, but if anybody's got issues with roll-up and you want to do some lot more non-standard stuff, have a look at that. Cool. See that? Excellent. Thank you again. I am going this time.